Well, welcome both to Sun City TV.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Well, Paul, give us a short intro onto what exactly is SCORE and specifically our Lowcountry chapter.
Sure. So in 1964, SCORE as a national organization was founded. We were originally tasked by the Small Business Administration, and the mission is to help form and launch and manage small businesses. So we mentor small business owners through all of the aspects. There are over 300 chapters in the country, over 11,000 volunteers. The Lowcountry SCORE chapter was founded in 1989, and currently we have 40 volunteers. And last year we helped launch over 80 businesses.
Karen, how has SCORE helped small businesses, especially during the COVID pandemic?
Yeah, this has been a really difficult time, as you can imagine, for small businesses. When we saw the world going sideways in, I guess it was around March, we collectively, internally said, you know what, there's going to be a lot of people needing help. And particularly now with the SBA loans, the PPP loans, Paycheck Protection Program, and the EIDL loans, which is the Economic Injury Disaster loans. So what we asked is, among the 40 mentors, who'd be willing to call what we called a rapid response team. And 10 of them put their hands up. And so we have one person who led the parade, Mike Waters, and I agreed, from my banking background, to be the liaison with SBA. And what we committed to do is that when someone goes and requests a mentor, and specifically for obviously one of those loans, we committed that they would get a response within 24 hours. Sometimes they got a response in 2 hours because we knew how much they were hurting. And so we did a round robin. Each of us, eventually the group grew to about 15 people. And we just answered all their questions, helped them with applications, went through the process. But what we did specifically is that because there was a lot of misinformation and the SBA was changing the rules as we went through it, we only gave them answers that we got directly from the SBA, Department of Treasury. And that was my job. If someone asked us a question, we didn't know the answer, I went to the SBA and got it directly from them and passed it on to the customers.
Paul, can you tell us about some upcoming webinars?
We do webinars, obviously online now. We used to do workshops in person. Someday we'll get back to it. Last year we had over 80 workshops over the course of the year. Today we had a workshop on finances. There'll be another one in July that Google is helping to sponsor on marketing in your network. We've got another cash flow and finance financial statement the end of the month, and we've got over 15 workshops planned for the next couple of months, which include things like we do a series every year for nonprofits in the Lowcountry.
Thank you both for coming in and advising us of this much needed service that you provide. You are to be commended for it, and much, much success to you both. Well, welcome both to Sun City TV. Karen, how does one go about getting a mentor, and how do you volunteer?
Yeah, I mean, that's easy. You mentioned the website, sclowcountry.score.org, or just go to score.org. It gets you to the same place. To ask for a mentor, there's basically a button that says request a mentor. It asks us for some very basic information, your name, location. Based on your zip code, you'll then be assigned to one of the 300 chapters. Obviously, if your zip code is here, you get assigned to us. And what we ask is that you put some specific information, like I want financial statements, I'm looking for marketing, I want to start a business, I don't know how to get started. And one of us, of our many 40 mentors, will pick up, obviously, that client assignment and then start working with you. And same thing for a volunteer. We're always looking for volunteers. Obviously not just mentors, but subject matter experts. We have one person who does nothing but restaurants. We have another person who does QuickBooks. So at the end of the day is that we're looking for all people, whether you have an hour to spare or more than that, obviously we're always looking for someone who could help us.
Now, how did each of you get involved in SCORE? And ladies first.
Well, I'm originally from New Jersey. I'm a transplant. as obviously most people are here. And so I retired about 3 years ago, and I knew I was not going to stay home. My husband would kill me, or vice versa. So, but we also knew we were going to move. So when we moved down here about 2 years ago, and I started looking around at other volunteer opportunities. I didn't want to work. I wanted something to give back because I felt I was very lucky in life. And there was an article actually in CB2 about SCORE, which I, did some research on and actually got introduced to one of our other mentors at the time. And I have a background as a CPA and a CFP, and I worked in banking for 30 years. And one of the things I used to like to do is help my clients, my banking clients, figure out what they need to do. So I figured SCORE was a great fit.
Yeah, so I worked with a long time ago a friend of mine who is actually the co-chair of the Columbus, Ohio chapter. And when I mentioned to him that I was retiring, he started hawking on me the fact that I had to go find the local SCORE chapter and volunteer. So after a short period of multiple emails and phone calls, I acquiesced and reached out and started in the middle of 2016 after we moved down here.
Karen, explain how mentors tailor the services to meet the client need.
Oh, we have multiple ways, but obviously the start is what the individual put in when they ask for a mentor. So if someone looks for someone with financing background, marketing background, developing a business plan, we all know sort of our own expertise. So we will go out and obviously reach out to obviously that particular person in order to say, okay, you're looking for some finance, I'll mentor you, let's talk about it. But we find sometimes with small businesses, that's just the beginning. Or sometimes that's not even the beginning, because when I ask them about finances, sometimes they didn't have a business plan. And I'm like, okay, well, if you're doing a business, you really need to start from the beginning, and eventually we'll get to the finance part. And then also, all of us will then reach out to each other. So if we have someone who needs, marketing information, social media, if there's a specific, someone who needs, something in engineering or manufacturing, not only will we reach out to our only 40 members, but we'll reach out to the entire United States of 11,000 members. Because I had a client who had a specific requirement for a software package, which I had no clue about. So I'm like, okay, I asked my local mentors. They had no expertise, so I reached out to a larger crowd. And sure enough, someone from the Midwest put their hand up and said, sure, I'd love to talk to them. So it's a great group. And just because one person is mentoring you with that background doesn't mean that that's the only mentor you're going to deal with. You're probably going to deal with quite a bit of the team at that point.
So you get the expertise from a variety
Absolutely.
of places. Well, thank you both for coming in and advising us of this much needed service that you provide. You are to be commended for it, and much, much success to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you very much. And if anyone needs, obviously, a mentor, you know where to find us. And if anyone has a few hours to volunteer, please reach out, and we'd obviously love to have you on board.
Thank you.
Thank you.